When I was 4 years old, man, I was really sick, and so my mom let me come sleep in her bed, and I had a fever, and I wasn't doing good. And her mom came home,
Like a
and
mom would.
yeah, and he came home. He's pissed off from a long day work, and he grabbed me by the back of my neck, and he fucking slammed me into the walls down the hall, threw me in the bedroom, hit my face against the bunk bed. I'm fucking beat up. I come trying
You
to
remember
get
that. You
fighting.
remember
Yeah, it's my first memory, man, really. And I busted out of the room as they're fighting. I see my mom and him fighting over the phone, and they're both tug of war. You know, the old rotary phones. I'm older. I'm 46 now. And anyways, they're fighting over it. And the next thing you know, I hear a tsh, and I look, and my mom got thrown out a double plated glass window out into the yard. Next thing you know, the ambulance comes and takes her away. So it really gave me, like, I started to fear men right there.
Yo, it's your boy Phil Wham Bam Bedamino. It's another Wham Bam Wednesday, baby. The show about ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. And today I got a treat for you. But you know what? First, as always, subscribe, baby. Click the button down below. Don't be a fool. Just click it, man. Subscribe. Let all your friends know. Let them know about all the good content stuff so we can continue to give you this stuff. The show's free. All you got to do is click the button, baby. Help us out. Show us a little love. I got an Army veteran. First of all, I want to thank him for his service, okay? We have Joey Justice in the house, formerly and currently actually known as G.I. Joey. He's an MMA fighter, past. He's a model. He's a fitness guru, personal trainer. He's an actor, and he also does porn. I got Joey Justice in the house. What's up, Joey?
Man, thank you so much for having me, Phil.
Absolutely, man. You know, I know everybody's going, what do you mean porn? What's he doing and stuff? You know, tell the viewers real quick, you're actually a porn star, man.
Yeah, I sure am. I just did my 300th movie.
300th movie.
In less than 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've shot with companies like Browsers, Reality King, Mind Geek, Bang Bros, Bang Bus. I am the XXX roadside guy for Bang. I just did the Dancing Bear, brought it back. I'm the Dancing Bear, so I have a lot going on right now.
Oh, man. So where's the girls find you? I know they want to know already. Or the guys, too, probably, for that matter. You know? But no, in all real, how did you get into the porn industry? How did that work out for you?
COVID, really. I was a dancer, and I was a fitness model for BMG up in New York. And
you were in fitness? I don't know. You look real fit at all.
I wasn't always fit, but you know, I signed a fitness modeling contract when I was 39 and moved up to New York in Midtown and pursued fitness modeling, turned into some acting, and that's when I realized, hey, this acting is really cool. I want to do it. But COVID happened and it shut down all my work. You know, we were all trapped in our houses, right? So I started OnlyFans, and that kind of made it so I wasn't accepted back to the acting realm, let's say. So I have 2 SAG vouchers. I was on a couple different things. You all heard of America's Most Wanted. It's called In Pursuit now. I was on that. I played an ex-Marine / bodybuilder strangled his girlfriend. I did a little scene in Hightown where I was like a BDSM scene where we beat up a drug dealer. And things were going good. I'd done muscle and fitness. I was like the face of the 2019 Rock Hard Challenge. I was bodybuilding top 5 in nationals freaking 6 different times, missing my pro card by 1 spot 5 times.
Oh, wow. But, you know, you talked about, you know, military. You actually were in the military, though.
Yeah, I was. I joined in 1998 in the Army.
In the Army. So tell us a little bit about that. How long were you there and what that did for your career?
It did a lot for me just as an individual. I had a tough childhood. So, you know, at age 11, I got kind of pushed out of the house by my stepfather. It was really tough situation.
What happened?
Just, you know, he was a little bit abusive. I wasn't his kid, you know, and me and him bumped heads, you know, not being my dad. And
Hold on, slow down a little bit, because you know what? I know that this is good, because I'm sure there's a lot of viewers out there, kids that come from broken families and stuff. So you're saying this was a stepdad of yours?
Yes.
We married your mom's?
He married my mom when I was 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're talking about he was abusive to you?
Yeah. And my mom's boyfriend before him too also. When I was 4 years, my dad left when I was 2 days old. My mom and him didn't get along, obviously, and I really think that my mom pushed him out. I met him again at 39, but, you know, we really never really severed the tie of him leaving when I was 2 days old. He wasn't involved anywhere, paid child support to my mom or anything, but when I was 4 years old, man, I was really sick, and so my mom let me come sleep in her bed, and I had a fever, and I wasn't doing good, and her mom came home.
Like a mom would.
Yeah, and he came home, he's pissed off from a long day work, and he grabbed me by the back of my neck, and he fucking slammed me into the walls down the hall, threw me in the bedroom, hit my face against the bunk bed. I'm fucking beat up. I come trying to
remember
get
that.
fighting.
You remember
Yeah, it's my first memory, man. Really.
That's crazy.
And I busted out of the room as they're fighting. I see my mom and him fighting over the phone, and they're both tug of war. You know the old rotary phones. I'm older. I'm 46 now. And anyways, they're fighting over it. And the next thing you know, I hear a tsh. And I look, and my mom got thrown out a double pane glass window out into the yard. Next thing you know, the ambulance comes and takes her away. So it really gave me, like, I started to fear men right then. And then, you know, my stepdad came into my life, and he was amazing, man. He'd take me places. I get to go to the movies with him and my mom. I thought, man, this is my hero. You know, 19-inch arms. He's in the Navy, going good. And then, you know, I got caught stealing candy for some kids. I was the only kid that had pockets.
Wait a second. You were a kid stealing candy? No kid's ever done that before.
You know, So I was 6 years old, and he, you know, I got caught stealing the candy. The babysitter knew that I did it because she caught me handing it out. I didn't steal none for me. I stole for the other two boys. Anyways, I had to take it back to the store. But by the time I got home, it was just my stepdad home, and my mom wasn't there, dude. And my stepdad really took it out on me. And that was the first time, like, he really put his hands on me. And instead of, like, folding a belt and hitting me with it, he left that bitch long and just beat the fucking shit out of me. And I was bleeding all the way down my leg. 6.
6 years old.
Yeah, so they tried to like take me from them, and he was in the Navy, so I'm sure it caused him a lot of issues. And from then, it's just like me and him never really clicked again. It was just a fight all the time, you know. And there's a couple times. One time I was so scared, I picked up a stick. I wasn't really gonna hit him. I thought it would deter him from hitting me. Hit me twice, knocked me the fuck out. I'm in the yard. My friends down in the street, they're like, "What the fuck? Your dad just kicked your ass," you know.
What would make a man do that?
I don't know. I think, you know, our fathers grew up different. Their dads were tough on them, right? So I think that's where he got it from. The only thing that just bothered me about it, man, is that he never touched his kids. You know what I mean? Never put his hands on his. So it sat with me for a long time to heal those wounds. And then by my mom and him kicking me out at 11.
Those wounds don't ever get healed.
No.
Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know what to say? Scars never go away. You know, they close up. They change, but you still got a scar. You always got to remember.
Yeah, true.
You know, type of
true.
thing.
I agree. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, I think that made me stronger because when he kicked me out, I went to live with the Cells, man. And the Cell family was 6 boys, and the dad and the mom had passed away. But, you know, they're on food stamps and stuff, man. We're living off bean burritos and drinking sweet tea, man. That was like our life. And French toast. You know, that's what you get with fucking food stamps back then. But, you know, they took me in, treated me like one of the brothers. So it's like having 6 brothers. They had an old weeder bench in the backyard, and I cleaned it up. And, you know, some of them all partying and this and that, but I'd be back there just lifting weights and be like, what the fuck is Joey doing? And I said, I was going to make sure that no man could put their fucking hands on me again and get away with it.
That's one way. Yeah. So that really drove you.
It did. It lit me up. That's where I fell in love with working out. It was like, it healed me.
Do you feel like that's where the MMA came in play? The fight.
Yeah, I do. After the military,
you're fighting at 6 years old. You're fighting just to be heard or being seen. Your dad, you know, your stepdad's beating you up.
Yeah.
That you call your hero at one point.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, boom, this shit's, you know, breaking you down.
Right.
You know, so, you know, obviously building that character, is that what got you fighting?
No, I think that, first off, the military was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's my father. We were all green. Your brothers and sisters to your left and right, they would die for you. Everything was just so like operationally sound, and it gave me structure that you would get from your father. I got it from the United States Army, and forever grateful for my experience in the military. But after I got out of the military, there was something inside me. We'd done combatives and shit, and I trained with like Yako down in Fort Benning, Georgia, and stuff like that. And you know, I just had to prove something to myself. You know, I wanted to see, am I that man now? You know, I was used to getting beat up, so it didn't matter to me, you know, to get hit, because I got hit by a grown ass man when I was a little kid. So to get hit don't bother me at all, you know? Sure. So I just wanted to see if I could do it. So I got into MMA, and I fought in the first sanctioned fight in the state of Tennessee, won the interim light heavyweight belt in 19 seconds, hit the guy 39 times. Yeah, light heavyweight, 205.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then I would have kept doing that, but I had ended up with empty cella syndrome. I had to where you have like a lot of spinal fluid build up in your brain from getting concussions, and I had to choose between having a family and having a child, or fight and probably end up with Parkinson's. So at that point, I made a decision. I got married. I walked away from MMA. Eats me up to this day because I never quit anything, but I made the right choice.
I don't think you're really quitting. I think you're just you moved on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's one thing, you know, you just moved on. I'm pretty sure if somebody grabbed you right now and got in a fight with you, you would make sure that they were taken care of.
They know I was there.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what.
Exactly.
I mean, some of these guys are fucking beasts. I got a friend, Anthony. I went to camp with him a couple years ago. He's the UFC champion now, man. Seeing him kill it, and I'm kind of living through him, like, man, helping him in the background, you know, and motivating him to go. But he's killing it, man. I can't wait to see him in the UFC.
Yeah, so that's great. So, you know, obviously you have kids now?
Yeah, I have a daughter. She is 10 years old. She's
Yeah.
my life, man. That's my why. That's what really got me like going in this direction and recreating my dreams, you know, and the big dream was to be a mainstream actor.
Yeah. So let's talk about the kid, though, first, because I know I was in a very similar situation. I had a child out of wedlock, actually, Hooter girl here in Georgia. My son forbids me to ever go to Georgia, or to Hooters, I should say, ever again. But, the reality, because both women that I actually have children with were both Hooter girls. So, but,
Hey, good taste.
Yeah, good taste. Good taste.
Don't blame
Got
me.
beautiful kids from it. So
Don't go there for the wins.
Very thankful. But my daughter actually changed me. You know what I'm saying? She's the one I always say, what made me a man?
Yeah.
Somebody asked me earlier today, hey, what changed you? What got you where you were today? And it was like, having that kid.
Yeah.
That kid changed everything because it gave you purpose, right?
Right.
And you realize you in a little different scenario because you got beat up as a kid and, you weren't, quote unquote, wanted. That had to feel horrible.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
sure you're probably a pretty amazing father right now.
I think that I'm the best father in the world, honestly. Like, I know how good of a father I am. I'm the father that I never had. And I broke the cycles. My daughter will never be abandoned and she'll never be hit. I've never even raised my voice to my daughter. My daughter is absolutely perfect. Kill it in school. Read a grade and did math a grade ahead this year. She's going into 5th grade. She's doing amazing. And I married the right
when
woman.
She starts dating, man. When she gets a little bit older, boy.
I just hope they check her resume and see who her dad is first, you know?
Absolutely.
I have never been in trouble in my life. I've never been arrested, but that might be the reason.
Don't give me the reason.
Right.
So anyway, so COVID hits.
Yeah.
So you're in New York City.
Yeah.
You want to be an actor.
Yeah.
But things aren't going so well.
Nah, man, COVID put us back in our house, so I'm back in Tampa. I actually had left New York to go to Hollywood to sign. I signed with Pinnacle Commercials to start commercial acting. Good money, good residuals,
Sure.
But that right when I signed that, it was within a month that...
Who was commercial? Give me an idea of commercial from the Wood Pinnacle at the time.
They do all kinds of different commercials, man. I think they've done like Geico commercials, and I know we did like a Lay's commercial that I like auditioned for. I never got them, but I know those are a couple auditions I did for them. But yeah, and so COVID happened, and I'm back home in Tampa because your home is where your heart is, and that's where my daughter's at. And dude, there's no work for me. I'm an entertainer, right? I left corporate, and there's no corporate job. Everybody's shut down. We're at home, so I started OnlyFans because I'd heard everybody making money on it. I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go try this out. I was already been a dancer. I'd already danced on the gay scene, like dance at go-go bars, and then dancing for the girls at Hunkamania.
Are you gay?
No.
So what made you go dance on the gay scene?
Because of money, man. Yeah. I made $800 in 3 hours the first night dancing on a bar, bro. And
what was it like? Take me back to the first day. The first day when, did you show up and say, this is what I want to do, or did you kind of get stuck into something?
This is a crazy story. I was houses in foreclosure. I'm going through this divorce. My home that I'm in is like an empty shell of a home I created with my wife and my daughter. Now they're gone. So I'm waking up. There's nobody. Everything's gone. Half the furniture's gone. All the pictures are gone. Just very depressing. I was down in the dirt. And so at that time, I became a personal trainer. And I got a phone call from BMG. And they said, hey, we want to interview in Orlando about you being a fitness model. I said, you got the wrong guy. I'm 39 years old. Fitness model? You're out of your mind. I'm old. I'm not going to be a fitness model. But I'd gotten shape, and like I said, placed well in shows, so they were interested in me. So I pawned my TV. I still have this TV today for $365 to get to New York. Cost $300 for the round trip ticket. I went to this guy's house I had never met. He charged me $50 for the first night, and he took me to this bar called Atlas in Hell's Kitchen to dance on the gay scene. Now I've never been around gay people in my whole life, but he was gay, and he was really kind. And he took me up there, and they told me what to do. I saw the other dancers like up on the bar and stuff. And dude, I got up there.
Wait, his name wasn't Diddy, was it?
No.
Okay.
No. None of that secret baby oil,
you're in
right?
New York. You're just curious, man. He's taking you in $50 for the night.
Hey.
He's was there any baby oil around?
No baby oil,
okay.
but yeah. So I danced on the bar, and $800, man, in 3 hours. And I was like, mind you, I just pawned my TV to get here. My house is in foreclosure. I have nothing, dude. I'm in rock bottom.
Nothing to lose.
No. And so I get there, I do that. I get hired at Temple Gym, and I making $125 an hour as a personal trainer. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy, man. I'm dancing at night. Then I get picked up by Hunkamania.
Let's bring it down. I'll bring it down for a second.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
Yeah.
Dancing.
Yeah.
And you're going in there, and there's men.
Yeah.
You're not gay.
Yeah.
You're not attracted to them.
Yeah.
So what is that? It's hard. How do you do that? How do you what do you do?
Yeah, it was tough at first. You honestly, man, my gay fans, they're beautiful people just like you and me, man. Just there's a sexuality that has nothing to do with any. Who cares what their sexuality is? You know, there's times I gave lap dances.
Grab and touch.
Sometimes try, you know, maybe give them the forearm and say, hey, you know, that's a little too far kind of thing. But, you know, I did very well at it. And I live with my heart, man. I lead with it. So, you know, people can feel that. So, and I just showed love and it came back to me and they definitely took care of me financially.
Yeah. Listen, gay people is just another person. It's one of God's child. And you know what? I actually married a gay couple on New Year's Eve at Kelly Clarkson's, one of her concerts right on New Year's Eve. So
that's awesome.
Me and her together married a whole couple. I happen to be ordained, gay couple in there. They wanted to get married in front of Kelly Clarkson. She's like, is anybody in the audience can do that? I happen to be there, and we did it. So and those two guys are, you know, some of my greatest friends, you know, today and so forth. So so people have this misunderstanding when they think that. So that's always kind of curious too, especially in the nightclub. It's a little different because you're performing at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
All the way till 4 in the morning in New York, man.
So so it's a little time. As they say, as it gets a little bit later, people get a little bit more grabbier.
Yeah, definitely. It would start for me around 7 o'clock. Then I'd go over to Hunkamania, dance for the girls until about 11. Then I would leave there from 11 to 4 in the morning. I'd be at the gay clubs dancing. And then I might end up in some underground club partying for myself, you know, after that.
Right.
Yeah, back then I did drink a little bit, smoke a little bit. There's things I used to be able to deal with it, you know.
I was going to ask you that. Is that something that you had to do to try to get you through some of those moments?
Definitely. That was a tough time for me, and that is how I did get through a lot of it, to be honest with you. You know, there's different kinds of drugs that I did take to be able to numb myself to handle it. Right. For sure. Not so much with the girls, but...
Do you regret any of that?
Huh?
Do you regret any of that?
You know, I don't ever regret anything because I think we all learn from our mistakes. You know, I put that, you know, behind me. Thank God nothing happened to me and I didn't get drugged or, you know.
I was going to ask you that next. So you ever wake up one morning?
I've been drugged, but I'm like a fucking horse. You can't fucking take me out, bro. One time I was holding on to the walls. I called her.
Yeah, but now they got all these other drugs now. They got the Special K. They got the...
Yeah, they don't fuck with drugs now. I don't do drugs now.
He's got the formula, man, that you're drinking and you forget what the hell happened.
Yeah, dude, I've lost some
that's
friends to fucking
shit. It's scary.
fentanyl.
It's scary out there. Yeah, fentanyl.
Yeah.
Every single day in Miami, there's somebody dying out there, you know, and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, it is very, very dangerous. And you don't know the potent of drugs today. At all. Way different than 20, 30, 40 years ago.
The fucking weed is off the roof now, bro. It's nothing like that red hair, Mexican really red hair shit we had when we were a kid, you know, by the brick. You fucking 10%. The shit they got now, 95%.
Right,
you know?
Right. Though they're homegrown, too, and who knows what's being added to it.
Right.
You know, and laced and everything else.
Yeah.
So, very, very tough. So, you know, what's the most you ever made one night dancing?
$4,400.
Who pays better, women or men?
Men.
Really?
Yeah.
You get more money off the men?
Yeah. I mean, for the girls, I think the most I ever made was $750 in a night dancing.
Who do you like dancing more for?
The girls, of course.
Dude,
you know?
I don't know. I mean, I want the money. If you're doing it for the money, you'd be like, hey.
Nah, but you know, I love women, man. I can't help it. I can't help it. If I didn't love women or I didn't love women as much as I did, maybe I would have took the right other way, and I'd probably have a daddy right now and be rich.
So tell me about your OnlyFans page. Okay. So because I've never been on OnlyFans. Hear about it. Yeah. But so what would you do? You go on, you start a page, and
I just started posting like nude pictures. You know.
Oh, you went straight nude.
Yeah, stroke off videos.
Oh shit.
Me and a couple of my ex-girlfriends throwing it down. You know, just.
So wait a second. So you just video yourself just fucking your old girlfriend?
Yeah, this is before porn. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like people are paying for this?
Yeah. Buying my underwear, fucking, you know, come on my underwear and mail my underwear and shit for like $150. Yeah.
If that was you, you're fucking sick. Oh, really?
People
buying your fucking underwear with your shit on.
People buy your fucking piss, bro, or your bath water, all kinds of shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We got some sick people in America.
I don't think it's sick. Whatever floats whose boat. I don't care.
Yeah, I know, but you know, somebody's piss. Come on, man. What are you going to do with that? Yeah. That's what I want to know. So what kind of money are you making on OnlyFans?
My best month on OnlyFans is about $8,500.
Really?
Yeah.
And all you got to do is sit there and have fun.
Just post something every day, and your fans buy stuff, and you sell stuff in the messaging. Some guys have you just like send them voice messages. I have $100 to send them a voice message of something they want to hear me say, or happy birthday to this person or something. Yeah.
So where can people find you right now to do that? Can they?
Yeah, G.I. Joey.
G.I. Joey.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
Now, is that something that you have to let them in as part of your fan?
Yeah, they sign up. It's like a subscription. It's like $8.88 a month.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you ever turned anybody down?
No. I think I blocked one person ever.
You get some stalkers and stuff.
You know, some people are kind of rough around the edges, or they say some stuff, but I'm pretty lenient on it as long as they don't go crazy. You know.
Yeah.
I've had to block, like I said, one person on that.
So obviously that I'm just guessing that got you into the porn world.
Well, yeah. Actually, I was dancing for Exotica. A friend got me hooked up with them to dance. I have like ladies' night, so I'm doing like Magic Mike dancing like I did for Hunkamania, the cowboy skit and stuff. And he did LL Cool J skit rapping "I Need Love." I remember that, right?
Yeah.
And doing it well and shit, throwing the girls around, throwing them up in there, doing the thing, you know. And so I got on with Exotica doing that. Started traveling with them to all the porn conventions, and people got to see me. And I was a hottie, and they had people come up and ask for pictures and stuff. And during that time, I had an agent hit me up, and he says, "Hey, man, I'm interested in, you know, putting you on one of my websites. You know, what do you think about porn?" And I was just like, "Nah, man, not my thing. You know, I believe in God, and I just felt like morally that just wasn't the right route for me. I know I'd been dancing on the bars and stuff, but that didn't feel as like
That was a survival.
as deep as porn, right? You know what I mean? And then then I said no, and then I had a girlfriend for a while that I was doing a lot of OnlyFans with, and so he asked me again, and so I called him, and I was like, "Yo, man, like I'll do it, but are you interested in like having my girlfriend?" He's like, "Nah, man, I'm looking for a guy like your look, you know, 40 years old that can, you know, kill it, and I want you. I have a ton of work for you, you know what I mean? If you're good." And I was like, "Man, nah," because she, you know, my girlfriend didn't want me to do it without her, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So I said no, and then I was dancing at Exotica, and here he comes, Riley from Hussey Models comes walking up to me, and he has Val Steele with him, and he says, "Yo, man, just do one. You'll do great. Just do one." Val Steele's like, "Dude, I'll suck your dick and eat your ass." I'm like, "Man, nobody's ever ate my ass before, but you're fucking hot, yo," you know. So I look over at my girlfriend, and I'm like, "Babe," and she's like, "Bro, you're really good at it, babe." And I'm like, "Damn, dude, I don't think my dick's big enough. This is crazy." Like, "Okay, I'll do it. You know, do one." You know. Yeah. So I went and got tested, and I went and did one, man. Halfway through the shoot, and John,
do they measure your dick? Do they measure?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you measure.
So
it,
that's
tell
part of
them,
the interview. Was it part of the interview?
Well,
like,
they ask
pull the tape out?
they ask you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they obviously can't lie. Once that bitch is out, it's out. You know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I
you
mean?
can't lie to that. You're supposed to have film.
Yeah. So, you know, Riley offered me the opportunity. I did it. I shot with Johnny Robbins. He's been in porn for 20 years. And he called Riley about halfway through the scene. And he looks at my girlfriend and looks at me. He says, "Man, do you like to travel?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "You want to sign a contract? We'll sign you a 3-year contract. Go back to Riley." So I did. And I said, "God, man, you sent me this ship, you know, 3 times. I took it on the 3rd time. If I'm not supposed to be here, don't let me be successful. Let me fall right on my fucking face, man." Next thing you know, I'm nominated for Best Newcomer, Male Porn Star of the Year, like in my first year.
You get awards.
157 scenes in my first year.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you keep it up that much?
Hey, there's secrets.
Let's talk about that. Come on.
All right, so
I need some secrets.
They got these things. They're called.
I never had a
they're
problem,
called
but I'm curious.
Supermans, right? They're half Viagra, half Cialis.
Yeah.
Man, it fucking rock you up good.
Where do you get one of those?
Doctor or even you know, black market websites.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, they sell
or your
online?
buddies, whatever. The porn world has it all. You know.
We can get it from G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe on the OnlyFans.
I'll give you the link.
Yeah. How long? What's the longest you can go on one of those?
Oh, bro, fuck, Superman's about 8 hours, bro.
How does that work, man? So they rent a room or rent a place. They're gonna video you.
Yeah.
You're going at 8. You're going for 8 hours. Like that's the porn I've seen in the past. It's not an 8-hour show.
No, but usually sex, we're looking for a good 45 minutes. But you got to understand, like you're fucking, and then you're setting up pictures, then you're fucking, then you're setting up pictures, and you're fucking your second pictures. So it could be 2 hours of your dick having to stay hard for you to do that scene, and it's a lot of stop and go. You know what I mean? So you might be right here getting a blowjob, and then they're like, "Okay, stop. We want pictures." So now she's not really doing nothing. When she might just be sticking her mouth on her, like holding it in her hand and taking pictures, smiling, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing you know, like you got to go fuck again, and then you're back and you're not fucking. Now you're doing pictures. It all depends on how they feel it. Man. My favorite's Gonzo because it's straight through. They say go, you do your fucking 5 or 6 positions, bust your nut, and you game over. But most of the time, it's stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. You know.
That has to take some technique there.
Yeah, and then they also have this thing. It's called Trimix. It's an injection, and it lasts for a good fucking 8 hours too. And you inject it.
Where do you inject it in?
Right in the top base of your dick, right before your pelvic bone, in your dick, in the chambers, because there's 2 chambers that run in your dick, right? And so you just stick it in there and you shoot it in.
Who does the injections?
You do it yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to go to a doctor and get it.
You ever worry about injecting it and something go wrong?
Well, I mean, I know how to do it based off of the doctor telling me how to do it, so I don't worry about it. It's actually safer than taking the Viagra or the Cialis. It's especially when you're older. Yeah.
Sure. What was it like when you first saw your very first porn video? Do you ever watch and say, "Fuck, I could have done better"?
No, actually, bro, I got in trouble, man, with the agency or with the porn world with one company, and they kind of put me in a timeout. First July, right? Yeah, so I worked all the way from August when I started till July. In July, I'm on this scene. I call the director. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not feeling good at all, and I'm all the way in Tampa, and I'm driving down to Miami to shoot. I'm like, and I never call out, but I was fucking sick, and I didn't feel good. I was like, yo, I'm not feeling good. He's like, please still come, dude. I said, no problem, because I always show up. Yeah. So I fucking drove down there, fucking 5 hours, get down there, still not feeling good. And he goes, oh, by the way, we're going to convert you to Muslim today. And you're going to fuck these two girls. One's your wife. One's going to be your other wife. Now they're converting you to Muslim. So you can have two wives and you're going to have this porn, right? So I'm not happy about it. I'm G.I. Joey. Now I'm converting to Muslim. I fucking probably got death threats out there from fucking some Arab countries, right?
Yeah, it's acting. It's acting.
Yeah, it's acting. It's acting. But I was not happy. I was not feeling good. It was tough. Well, anyways, it's like July 5th, and it's the fucking hottest day in the world. You remember that a couple years ago? Like the earth was like the hottest ever. Well, we're at this fucking house upstairs, and they don't want to use AC because it makes the humming noise in the video. Even though we're in fucking 2023 at that time, they don't want to fucking do it. They want to turn off the air. So we look at the thermostats, 95 degrees in there. And I fucking do the scene, and I jump up to get the money shot on the girls' faces, and the guy goes, wait, we can't pop it. We can't pop it.
You gotta have the money shot.
Yeah, you got it. That's it. You're only as good as your last shoot.
Is there a contract like you don't get paid if you don't give them money?
No,
shot?
this is what happened. I changed this. Actually, my mistake helped change this for my agency. So they I couldn't get the pop after they played tug-of-war with the scarf because they made me stop my pop like right there at mid-pop and do this tug-of-war with the scarf with these two, Muslim wives. And then he's like, okay, now go ahead and pop. So now I'm just stroking it, trying to get it, and fucking pouring sweat is running down my arms and on my feet, and a big old puddle around the floor. And I'm like, fuck, this sucks. And he gives me about 10 minutes, and he's like, yeah, fuck this, dude. You missed. You know what I mean? And I'm like, whatever, fuck it. So
they get mad at you?
Yeah, but at the same, and they talk shit too, but it make you feel like shit. And you nobody's harder on you than yourself. And I just gave it my all. The fucking sweat. Tears are right there on the ground. Right. And so I go take a shower and I think everything's cool. But then I walk downstairs and the girls are getting dressed from their showers. I'm starting to get dressed and the fucking director walks up. He goes, oh, I was only going to take 100 from you for missing. But since I called your agent, he said to take another 100. So we're taking 200 from you. So I was supposed to make 600 and now I'm only making 400. And I drove all the way down from Tampa. It's probably fucking $70 in gas. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'm like, dude, this is fucking bullshit.
So you only got paid $400.
Right. Well, I threw Fred. I said, you know what? This is fucking bullshit. I said, fuck you. And I left. Right. So I'm driving down the road and my agent calls me. He's like, you can't be like that. I said, bro, I just fucking worked for 10 hours in this fucking heat, gave my all and converted to Muslim when I was sick. And I told you guys, and now you're taking my money. They ended up giving me my money. But anyways, a long story short, it's tough. Yeah. So you're only as good as your last scene. They say out of 10,000 guys that maybe 3 could do it. But only out of those 3, only one of them have a dick 8 inches or bigger to be able to do it, right? Because they don't want these small dick guys.
Right.
There's a couple of them that have made it, but they can do magical things like pop 3 or 4 times in a scene.
John Bobbitt was on.
Yeah,
he
but
he didn't have any dick. His wife cut his dick off.
I remember the 90s, man. I was hoping I was going to see him in the film we're doing right now.
Yeah. You know, he was on the pod and stuff. We talked about that whole thing.
Oh, shit.
They cut that shit off, but he did it because people were questioning him, but he was getting made fun of, like, oh, your shit doesn't work.
Right.
He wanted to prove it did.
Hey, so I saw that porn. I did.
You watched it?
I did.
I did.
When I was a young kid.
Yeah.
This was before the Army days. I was fucking in high school, man. Yeah, I'm guilty as charged. VHS.
How'd he do?
I mean, from what I could remember is all right. The chick was hot.
Yeah. He always had good-looking girls, man, around him at that time. And, what is that like with you? So, obviously there's a lot of talent that they bring at you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're probably hot as hell.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Is that putting stress at home with your relationships and stuff? Like, I know you got a solid girl. And,
yeah.
I mean, what is that like? Obviously she knows what you do.
Yeah, no, she helped, she edge me
watch
into
you
it.
Whenever she wants.
No, we during that time we watched a bunch of my videos when I was off, and I was like, am I good? Like, let's watch this. I never watched myself. Yeah. And during that's after a year almost of being in. I never watched any of my scenes, but then we sat down together and we watched our movies. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm good at this, and I look good. Like, I'm good at this. I don't care what they say, and I'll watch a couple other people just to see, like, people that are like in my lane or whatever. I'm like, I'm better than them. Like, fuck, shit, dude. I got this. Like, why? They're not gonna keep me from working. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make this happen. And when they brought me back, man, I came back like a fucking animal. I got in better shape during that time off. Laser focused. Now the soldier. I knew what I was doing. I wasn't this kid in camp anymore. I was fucking a true porn star, you know, now up for awards and shit. And from there, man, it's blown up. Like I said, I'm a XXX roadside guy. I'm the only male talent for that one. It's really fun. I get to work with the director in Big Lou. Awesome, dude. And then also do the Dancing Bear, like I said, for Bang Bros. So.
Yeah. What is it like, though, when you show up to a scene? Do you know who you're working with? Like, you show up a scene, and let's say there's 4 other guys with you. Like, has that happened?
No, I mean, I used to I've done a few gangbangs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I've been in a room with like, you know, 1 girl and 5 big old black dudes that have fucking dicks bigger than my arm and I'm fucking just 8 inches. And I'm like, God, I don't belong here, you know? Not my thing, not my thing. I like boy girls or boy girls, but I really don't like to fuck with anything with extra guy around. I mean, I was married for fucking 2 wives, 20 years, 10 years apiece with both of them. You know, I was monogamous.
Is that the rule, 10 years you're out?
I don't know. It's just what life does to me, bro. I don't know. You know, I must be on that 10-year cycle or something, you know?
How long you been with your current girl?
7 years.
Uh-oh, 3 left.
Yeah, but we ain't married yet. See how I'm doing that?
Okay, there you go.
See, I get another 10 if I ask her to marry me.
Don't marry at all. You just don't have to worry about it.
True.
She can be there forever. Hi, I'm Phil Benamino, CEO and founder of Cost Plus Processing, the company that provides financial services to your business. We provide things such as POS systems, ATM machines, and check services. One of the biggest things that we strive ourselves here at Cost Plus Processing is our customer service. We are an A+ rated with the BBB with customer service, and we're proud to say we're here in the United States with all of our customer service agents. Our objective is to actually teach you and educate you about the costs that you're currently paying and show you ways where you can eliminate those costs that you no longer have to pay. One of the biggest programs that are out there today is our dual pricing program, where you actually can offer your customers now a choice of how they want to pay. Do they want to pay with cash or do they want to pay with card? And if they pay with card, it actually helps you to absorb the card fees, so you no longer have to pay the fees like you've done for many, many years. Cost Plus Processing aligns ourselves with some of the top POS companies out there in the industry today. For example, we have perfected the car dealership industry, and our dedicated team are equipped to manage a variety of online payment forms and financing options that merchants require in this advanced ecosystem of payments. If you have a restaurant, we are proud to be able to manage the ongoing difficulties that arise from this fast-paced industry, and you're looking for pay at the table, where customers can easily swipe their cards, tap their cards, and make their payments with tip, and also have a choice of how they want to pay, we have the solutions for you here at Cost Plus. We want to help other small business owners make their dreams come true by providing the best financial support. From barbershops to liquor stores, having the ability to take payments, schedule online, and make calculating tip sharing an easy task only helps business owners put more attention and money into what really matters the most. Also, Cost Plus Processing is on the front end of AI. We can also provide you kiosks for your business, so customers can walk over to the kiosk and order anything that they want. Likewise, if you're having a problem getting employees in the kitchen to work, we can also provide you robots that will actually deliver your food straight to the customer. I want to thank you for the time that you took to learn a little bit about Cost Plus Processing, and most importantly, why we are the future of merchant processing. But yeah, so be intimidated. So obviously you show up to a place and you got 4 or 5 other people and they're saying, hey, we expect you to do a gangbang. You ever been in a situation where you walked away, where you walked off and said, man, I don't want to do this?
Never, man. I'm a soldier. You give me a job, you send me the paper, do it. And I don't check out who the girls are. Know why? Because I open a Christmas gift every time I go to fucking work, man.
Yeah.
And I find beauty in everybody, man. Like these women, they're, you know, it could be their eyes, it could be their ass, it could be their titties, it could be their personality, it could be whatever, man. Some people just fucking vibe awesome. Like you fucking vibe awesome. But I still won't fuck you.
Thank you. I didn't fuck your dick either, just so you know. I can promise you that one.
Yeah, good.
But I got to be honest, man. You're a good-looking fucking guy.
Thank you
know
so
what I'm
much.
saying? I mean, on the screen, it's always the ugly, tall, skinny guy that's in porn. And it's like, how the fuck did he get her?
Yeah.
You know, but people ain't saying that shit about you.
No,
You know
I actually
what I mean?
think people are impressed that somebody of my stature can perform the way I perform. Because a lot of the guys that are my size, man, they're fucking juiced out of their fucking mind, so their dicks don't work, you know?
Right.
Or they have small dicks, and that's why they're juiced out of their fucking mind, because they're trying to compensate. Well, I never was compensating for nothing. I knew who I was.
Right. When you do the injections, does it add length to you or girth?
I don't think so. It just keeps you hard, like rock hard. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, because everybody be injecting that.
Yeah, for sure. But it hurts, man. I've been in the hospital twice because of injections.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Both times not in porn, though. It's before porn. I tried.
Has there been any accidents where people are doing freaky shit and you had to go to the hospital and stuff?
Well,
I find things out.
Yeah, well, I know like a director now. He's a huge, big time director, but he used to be a performer, a talent, and a girl went up and came back down, and like it came out, and she jarred it, and now his dick's like an L, like it broke it, because your dick can break, and he's done. Now he's a director.
Broke your dick?
He broke his fucking dick. Yeah.
How the hell do you break your dick,
dude? If a girl comes down on that, like she says, she's going
Was she a
reverse
big girl?
cowgirl, going up and down. It don't matter, man.
She was riding.
Reverse cowgirl. You know, you got him. You're fucking sweaty, tired. Something slips. It comes out of her, and she comes back down, and that stick's standing up. Break that motherfucker right in half.
I like how you have all the reverse cowgirls. So that's actually a position.
Oh, yeah. One of the hardest ones for the girls. These girls cry about it for sure.
Yeah,
they hate it. Reverse cowgirls, like when they're facing the opposite way of you, like sitting on your lap, so she'd be facing out and going, right? She has to squat. But as a good male talent, this is why they love me. I'm strong enough to make it easy for them. Yeah. When the little skinny guys, they can't do that. And I do a lot of the like standing up shit. I have one where the girl's sitting on my shoulders, her legs open, because you got to stay open to the camera. I'm eating her pussy, and I'm fucking the other one doggy style underneath her, holding this one above her. So it's pretty fucking cool in the stairway. I loved it.
I don't know why it wouldn't be cool. You're sitting there with two girls getting to do what you want and getting paid.
Yeah.
What's the pay like, man?
I started.
Is it one and done, or you get paid every time that the video gets watched?
Nah, man, one and done, man. It's what it is, And you start off around $500, and you work your way up. Top guys now, I would say J-Mac making about $3,700 a scene.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that could take 10 hours. You're saying?
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah. Scenes usually, I would say, average 5 to 6 hours.
Do you think that could kind of hurt porn? What about all this AI shit and stuff now? Do you think it hurts your career and things out there? Because
I just don't think a computer could do it better than me, man. Real is real, I'm not really worried about AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's authenticity about things, and how can an AI be authentic? It can't.
Well, it can, but you don't know. Some people, it's hard to determine.
Yeah.
You got a model looking, bot.
Yeah.
You're watching it on TV. Let's see it. They're watching you on TV. It's not like they're watching you live. It'd be different if they're watching live. What about live porn? You ever do that?
Live porn?
Yeah.
No, I have never done live porn.
I mean, there's some countries that do that.
Yeah.
There are places where you go in and sit and
fuck in front of them?
Yeah, fuck in front of them, yeah.
I mean, I would do it. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, no issues with that.
No.
Well, of course not.
Not now.
Not now, yeah. You got the courage now. you still got to take courage juice or no?
No, not at all. Being vulnerable, bro. Like, right? I mean, it's something special about that feeling. Like, to be super vulnerable and put yourself out there like that, and you say, you know what? I don't give a fuck what nobody has to say about me, man. I'm trying to take care of my family and give my daughter the life I didn't have.
So let's talk about your daughter. How does she get to watch your videos?
Oh, no. She's
I'm
a
just
little
saying,
kid. No.
Exactly.
No, she just knows that.
Are you worried about that, though?
I am. I'm going to be honest with you. 100% I'm worried about that. She thinks I'm an adult actor. She don't know exactly what that means, but she knows that means that she can't watch what I do. But, we're breaking into acting now, and pretty much I'm going to break out. And one day, maybe, I won't have to do porn no more, and I'll be, mainstream famous actor and making enough money to take care of my family without having to do this.
There you are.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, your transition acting, because I know you're on Blood Money 2, Blood Money Vengeance, for those viewers that are out there watching stuff. It's going to be coming probably in a couple of years. It'll be out there. But, you got a major role in that, playing Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it like acting with your clothes on? Well, you have your clothes on.
Yeah.
It seems.
I love it. I love it, man. I'll tell you, these last 4 days, man, have been surreal, man. It's like, I set this goal 10 years ago when I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was 37, in the hospital, weighing 288 pounds. Top weight was 302, but
you were 302 pounds.
My top weight, but I was 288 when I got put in the hospital and found out I had high blood pressure and high cholesterol.
So you dropped like 100 pounds.
I was 37 years old. Yeah. Went through my divorce, and I just depressed.
There you go. That's what'll do it.
And I looked at myself and I said, man, I got to get in shape. I got to look good, at least in a pair of board shorts. I'm single again. Plus I have my daughter to live for. Like I'm not going to live like this much longer, It's really what made me not go back to the corporate world and logistics and decide to become a personal trainer. And
you know what? It's so funny because I had this conversation even with my son today. People don't realize, okay, women or men, for women, because women work out too afterwards. They go through a breakup. Same thing.
Right.
They start focusing on yourselves.
Right.
Why is it that we got to have something horrible happen to us in our life before we start working on ourselves? I mean, at the end of the day, it is our life. Like, it's ours. So, and I tell this, I say this to viewers, you got to work on yourself every single day.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't have to wait for somebody to leave you or break up with you to say, okay, now I need to take care of my health, or now I got to be to the gym, because life is short, right?
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know what that timer, when the alarm clocks are going to tick, and that's going to be our last moment.
Right.
So it's like, don't you want to be your best every single day?
Yeah, that divorce really woke me up when it comes to my daughter, man. That really gave me my why. And that's something changed in me from that day forward. And when everything was gone, I knew that I had to live for her. I changed everything about my life. And I used ketosis, lost 77 pounds in 7 months. And, next thing you know, like the story I told you, I signed with BMG. I didn't, out of nowhere, really, at 39. So, and the way people
Did you take steroids too?
I take TRT.
Test replacement. That's common.
I was with Titan Medical. Now I'm with Overtime.
When you lose 100 pounds, what do you do? I mean, you got to have some dead skin here and there.
Yeah, pretty much all fell right into my ass, bro. My only part of my body that doesn't look great is my ass, but I don't care because no man ass, right? They don't need to see that. Mama says it matters what you look like coming, not going, right?
What's mom think about you doing porn?
They really don't got much to say. They kicked me out at 11. Like, they didn't really raise me the way that I would raise my child, So I really don't care if they care or not, but they have been supportive. I mean, even today, like, I sent them a couple clips of the fight scene from the movie and stuff, and I hope you're proud of me. Still to this day, I'm still looking for that acknowledgement.
Acceptance.
Yeah, at 46 years old.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, but it's okay. I'm proud of myself.
Absolutely. Well, you should be. Number one. But let's talk about the whole movie scene, because you've been wanting to be an actor. You've been wanting to do this. You really didn't want to do the porn. You did the porn for the money. It worked out for you. You've done great. Obviously, won awards. And so forth, and you found a path to help you get to your next level. But it struggled. It also affected you. You weren't able to get a lot of scenes and a lot of acting jobs because of the porn.
Yeah, they look down on you for that. And it's like, man, that ain't even who I am. I'm like this great guy that'll show up and give his heart and give his all to every single thing that I do. I'm all in. I'm the kind of guy that you could say, hey, man, I need you to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm that guy. The military taught me. And that's why I'm so successful in porn, too, because I'm that guy you can count on. I drove through Hurricane fucking Ian 8 hours to save a scene when I first started. You know what I mean? It's not appreciated like it should be in the porn industry, but I'm still that guy, and I think some of the directors realize that,
Yeah. What would you do if you had 2 jobs? You could be an actor full-time, or you could be a porn star full-time. Which one would you want to do?
I would be an actor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's your passion. That's what you want.
Definitely.
I think every guy in the world is going, no, be the porn star, make the money.
No, but porn gave me the vulnerability and the time behind camera. It was like going to film school, right? Or to be acting school, to become an actor. Man, I'm fucking comfortable behind a fucking camera.
Yeah.
Cameras don't bother me at all.
Right,
and now I get to do it with my fucking clothes on, but I'm dancing like, And what's really good is I really studied for this movie, and I've really done really good with my lines.
Yeah.
And the fight scenes, man, today and the other night, man, beautiful. I'm so fucking proud of myself, man. I brought the energy. I brought it,
Yeah.
And you just got to seize the moment. And I feel like right now I'm seizing it, you know?
What is the one thing that you wish you could fix? What is your one weakness that you have, if you had to pick one?
My one weakness?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
I love that it's just taking you that long to even think.
Yeah.
So that's good. You don't find there's any weakness in that.
Not now.
And
There's times I did.
But you really shouldn't, because there are things you can always do better.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But you don't consider it weak, because you're like, man, no, I'm a strong individual. I'm confident. I can do what I want.
Is my diet always perfect? Am I always getting up and going to the gym exactly perfect? No, but consistency, man. If there's 10 days, I'm fucking 9 of them. You know what I mean? I'm killing it, for 9 of them. And then when I don't do that one day, dude, nobody's harder on me than me. And don't trust me, that next day, I come with some energy that you never seen before, because, I'm mad at myself for taking that break or taking that, eating that thing I shouldn't have ate, So I come ready to fucking fix myself, and be better than I was that one bad day, How many good days can I have before I have a bad day? Can I be better than I was yesterday?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the key right there.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I do every morning. Wake up first thing, look at the guy in the mirror. What do I need to do today that I can do better than I did yesterday?
Love that.
Because that's what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, that's how you live within purpose. purpose, and that's how you grow. You got to evolve, man. Too many people today, they're comfortable, right? They get comfortable, they get happy, they get set in their ways. And I think that's where the conflict comes in, even in relationships. I think, you get comfortable, you get used to things, and it's like every day becomes a part of the routine.
Right.
You got to mix up the routine. You got to do something to make yourself grow, to get better, to get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And if you're not, and I always say, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, man.
Exactly.
These things that I'm doing, like being here, this is my first movie, uncomfortable, right? I'm fucking stayed away. A bunch of new people, amazing people like yourself. I'm blessed. But you don't know when you come in here, fucking studying for this thing 2 weeks before the movie comes out. They change the script. I've been studying this. Now it's this. It's like, holy fuck, and just being able to like roll with the punches, just being able to change when it's time to change and doing it with a smile on your face and just being grateful that, hey, I'm alive and look at where I'm at. There's 10 years ago, man, when I was overweight and I said, I'm going to fucking be an actor one day. Now I'm a fucking actor.
You are.
10
and a good one.
years later.
A good one.
Thank you.
A good one too, man. Absolutely. I tell people, and you know what? And I'm telling the viewers that it doesn't matter your age.
Yeah.
You could start whenever. Yeah. I think every kid has a dream, right?
Right.
And they're like, oh, but I'll never achieve it, or I'll never this, or I'm too old now. There's always something you can do.
Bro, I'm living proof that even when you're later in life, in your 40s, you can fucking change your stars, man. You can make dreams come true. And no, it's one of the greatest lessons that I'll be able to show my daughter. Because someday she will know the whole story. Yeah. And she will know all these things about that. Right now, I'm just her Superman. But one day, she'll know everything. And maybe then I will truly even be more of her Superman. But right now, I'm able to show her, like, hey, you got a dream, you go get it, you give it your all. And you know what? Don't let nobody tell you no. If that door says no, you go find a fucking door that says yes. If you have to kick the door down, you kick the fucking door down. You make it happen.
Well, you know what I always say? There's never a no.
Right.
It's spelled KNOW. They just need to know more about you.
Right.
So it ain't NO, no. They just need to know more.
I like that. I like that.
So yeah. So it's just I turn around. I don't do negatives.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just there's no reason for it. It's just like I tell people, you can wake up in a good mood or you wake up in a bad mood. I fucking choose a good mood.
Right.
Bad sucks.
Yeah. No.
We all been there. We all know what bad feels like.
Facts.
So why not just fucking switch it? Just fucking change it. You don't have to, because it's a choice. It really is. At the end of the day, it's a choice of how you feel, and it's a choice of how somebody makes you feel. If you don't like the way they make you feel, get away from them.
Right.
Get away from them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Type of thing.
If they ain't your vibe, they ain't your energy, man. You don't need to be around them, man. And you got to learn how to separate it. You don't have to be a dick
to them, though.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? That's
kindly.
You have to be mean.
Always nice.
Yeah, you have to be mean. Just I choose not to be around that.
Right.
I choose no drama. I choose those things anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it takes time to go through some of the process, and these younger generations and stuff to realize, unfortunately, they got to get hit on their ass before they figure that out.
Yeah, a few times,
And that's part of life. That's part of life. But, doing this podcast and putting this out there, this will be a great thing for your daughter to sit and watch. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I will say about you, too, I remember even with the whole movie, oh, this guy's a porn star, he's this. People automatically think,
right,
this guy's going to be some tool, right? Oh, he's got this confidence, he's going to be cocky, he's going to have an egotistic. You're nothing like that, man. You're such a good dude.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Down to earth, good dude. I mean, you served for our country, which we really appreciate it. So you got a big dick and you fucking fucked a bunch of girls and got paid. Okay, nothing wrong with that, I guess, either.
I mean, these guys out here spending their whole paychecks on it. You know what I mean? So sorry I didn't go that route,
Yeah. But in all honesty, you're using that as a stepping stone to get what you really want.
Yeah.
And now you're actually doing it.
I know.
What does that feel like, man? Now that you're actually acting and you're in it. You've been there for a few days on set now. You've done some scenes. How does it feel? Being an actor, are you nervous anymore? Is it something that you're like, okay, this really is something I can continually do?
Honestly, I haven't been nervous at all. Once I nailed the first scene, and not really the first scene, it was the second scene when I had the lines, and I nailed my lines, and I was like, wow. Dude, I did this. I really practiced. I got myself ready for it. I feel like I'm on cloud 9, honestly. And I feel like this is a switch for me. We go through chapters.
Yes.
And I think this is going to open doors for me so, other people can see what my talents are. I bring a lot of talents, man. I BJJ, a fucking MMA, United States Army, plus just, porn star, whatever, logistics manager. I can bring all these things and I can bring them to the screen. And it's easy for me to display those things because I've lived through it, I know what it's like to live through abuse. I know what it's like to live through a divorce. I know how it's like to raise a kid and find out it's not yours after 10 years. I know these pains. And, I was told something when I was going through acting classes. It says, if you can't feel the role, don't take it. Man, dude.
You've been through so much.
Yeah, I can
Talk about
feel
the
it.
kid. You said you raised a kid for 10 years.
Yeah.
Thought it was your child.
Yeah, I was stationed
Find out
at
10 years later,
Redstone
it's not.
Arsenal, and me and my buddy Lo were like the Barrack Playboys, right? Two pretty boys, you know,
Yeah.
both in great shape. And we went to the bar. It was President Day weekend, and you know, there was not really hot chicks, but the bartender was hot. And I said, yo, we made a bet. Whoever gets the fucking girl gets to claim the king of the barracks, the Barrack Playboys.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
young fucking army guys, right? Well, anyways, I got her all right. And I got, right? So found out, that, you know, she said she was pregnant. So, you know, I at that time I was getting ready to, you know, re-enlist. I changed my MOS to 35 Yankee. I was trying to go to Hawaii or Alaska because like I always wanted to go to those two places. Like how
Sure.
cool it'd be stationed there because I was stationed stateside, you know? So, then she said she was pregnant, so I fucking ETS'd and I got out, and you know, 10 years of raising him. I found out that he wasn't mine after fighting for custody in Florida. I was a logistics manager at the time, making big money, and she had married some fucking ex-meth fucking head dude, and I ended up like fighting for custody, and the first thing the lawyer had me do was go get a paternity test. Got a phone call, said he wasn't mine. I haven't seen him since that day. I mean, I've seen him through social media. I've talked to him, but you know, it was tough, man. You know, Joey's tattooed on my back. People all the time go, "What the fuck is Joey tattooed on you?" Yeah, it was my name as a kid, but by that time I was Joseph, and or Joe, you know, whatever. And then now I've got an entertainment. That's why I said, fucking put Joey because it's on my back, and now people are like, this fucking cocky dumb fuck like, writes his name on his back. You know, they don't have no idea what I've been through. Half the world till right now probably has no idea that I raised Joey for 10 years and found out that he wasn't mine and he was just raped out of my life. You know.
What was that day like?
My ex-wife, my
I
baby
mean,
mama says
you talk about, and I kind of know a little of this backstory
Yeah.
because you shared it with me a couple nights ago. But the reality is, you know, you raised this kid,
Yeah.
and it's not that you didn't want once you find out he was yours that you were like, okay, you're not mine. Bye. See you later. Like you wanted to still be in his life, and you still said, "Hey, I'm still his dad. I still want to be his dad."
100%. If he calls me right now, I'm still his dad.
But because of the law and because of paperwork and
his mom
and different things,
different states. I'm in Florida, they're in Alabama.
Yeah,
you know?
you got pulled away.
Yeah,
That goodbye had to have been really, really hard.
My baby mama, Emma's mom, you know, we were married at the time, and she said, I watched you die for a year. It took a year for you to finish, like, killing that part of you that was destroyed. Like, it did. I wasn't the same person. Didn't talk much. Very depressed, sad. Probably a lot of the
pain
weight
you've
I
been through.
gained came from that time.
That's probably one. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's unfortunate, but you know, again, it's that pain, that the inner side and stuff. If he's watching right now, what would you say to him?
That I love him and congratulations on his baby boy.
Yeah, awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And you know what? I hope to God he sees that because
Me too.
you're such a good dude, bro, and I know that you mean that from the bottom of the heart. That you know you'd be there for him in a heartbeat and everything else. So really appreciate you sharing that story with you.
Thank you,
Because
man.
you know what? There's a lot of kids today that are out there that they did lose their parents.
Yeah.
Again, my daughter, I raised my daughter since she was very, very young. Had full custody of her. Being a guy from New York, coming down south, raising a child is hard, right? It's different. But I know I did the best I could. But as a man, we feel like we failed because you want to give your kid what you had in life and more, right? That's all we want. We want to give our kids what we had and more. And when you feel like you can't, you feel like you failed.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are times, like I told my daughters, like, I can only give you what I can give you. But I did have a mom and dad that was there to take care of me. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to give that to her. But, you know, she still hurts from this day.
Yeah.
You know, and even though even her real mom tried to reach out and she's had a couple conversations with her, she knows that relationship is never going to be healed.
Right.
And she hurts forever because of that. It's unfortunate, you know, but you're in a different scenario because you actually care about the kid.
Oh, yeah,
even
I
though
love
he wasn't
Joey.
yours.
Yeah.
You know,
Forever.
and that's humiliating, right? I mean, what did that feel like as a man when you first found out? I can only imagine the rage and the anger, the emotions that you had to go through.
I don't even think it was rage and anger, man. I was just heartbroken.
Yeah.
You know, like this child just was raped out of my life, just taken from me. And I'm a good father. And like, I never fucking disciplined him or had to get mad at him because he just knew to be this good kid because I raised him that way, you know? I gave him everything that he ever wanted. We had all the video games. We had everything that he wanted, man. When he'd come stay with me in Florida, he'd stay with me during the summer for 6 weeks. We'd have a blast. We'd go to all, you know, Busch Gardens, Aquatica, Venture Island, all the cool things. I do the same things with my daughter now.
Right.
And my daughter's just as good. Like, it's amazing. I haven't had like a bad child, I guess. So I was ADHD, so maybe that's why my stepdad was a little crazy, right? I can make up excuses and give excuses to why he did what he did. But at the end of the day, my daughter is just like me. She has my personality. She's silly, and she feels okay being that way with me because I give her a safe space to be herself. Because in this world, man, there's not very many safe spaces. We got to give, and being a father, that's my job, is to give her a safe space, man.
How do we tell our kids, man? How do we get our kids in a safer space? Because you know what? Let's face it, our kids don't want to talk to us at times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As much as they are talking to us, there's many times where they have hidden stuff, hidden pain that they just don't want our mom and dad to know. You know? Where's the outlets for them? I
think the biggest thing is for you to always be open-minded and be accepting to whatever it is. Don't look at it from your point of view. Don't look at it like that. Understand them. Understand their perception, where they're coming from is totally different than yours. When we grew up, we didn't have this technology. We didn't have this stuff. We weren't bombarded with like programming, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, they're bombarded with tons of different programs. They got their phones. My daughter, I have to tell her, like, yo, you can't be on your phone all the time. You know what I mean? Because, but it's the way of life, right?
It's crazy, right? They're sitting there spending all this time watching other people's lives that they don't even know.
Right.
It's not like they're watching people they even know. They're friending people they've never met before and may never meet. You know what I'm saying? But they're using them as their idols and stuff.
Right. I think biggest thing is like experiences, right? Getting them away from the phone, getting them out, taking them to do things, building these experiences with them. And that builds that bond and that relationship. So when it does get tough, they know that they can talk to you about anything because they've seen the way that you react, not just with them, but in the real world, right? Because you're out in the real world. You're doing these experiences. They're seeing things happen. They're seeing maybe something, guy cuts you off in the car. They see the way that you handle it. They see the way that you open the door for everybody and you're kind to them. And if you live your life being love and being kind and, treating people right, they see that out of you. They're going to treat people the same way. But even sometimes when it gets tough, like my daughter says, man, this girl at school, she's really mean. I really like her. She's the popular girl, but she's always mean to me. I said, Emma, you go to school and I need you to go to the girl and say, look, my dad said, if you can't be nice to me, that I can't be your friend anymore. So the girl looked at her kind of weird, like, what the fuck? So she left and she thought about it for once. She came back and she says, Emma, I'm just a mean person. And I don't think we can be friends. And I said, Emma, she placed herself in the place that she needs to be. Now you have to understand, no matter how cool she is, that she's going to be mean. So if you go back, you're abusing yourself. You're hurting yourself. Mm-hmm. And so she understands that now, and it worked out great. I'm glad I did it that way. But, you try different things. It's trial and error as a parent, right?
Sure, of course.
So, but that one worked.
Right.
You know what I mean? That one worked. And,
right.
and it's early, but, I'm going to be honest with you. She's going into 5th grade. Junior high is 6th grade, and Callie was 7th. But it's 6th grade for them. And, me and her mom are really considering homeschool because, man, these girls are mean. She's a little heavy set. I come from a heavier set family. Sure. I have to work to look like this. All these people out here that think it's easy for me to fucking look like this, I work my ass off. And if you don't think so, come work with me. I promise you won't hang.
What is a day like in your day for fitness and stuff?
For fitness, well, let's just say
constantly. Because you are, you're fit and you do live it.
Yeah.
So what is it? What's it like?
Every morning, no matter if I have my daughter or don't have my daughter, I talk to my daughter in the morning, like on the phone. If I don't have her, after that phone call, I might do my posts on social media to get them out of the way, and then I'm headed to the gym. Yeah. If I'm going to work, I'm doing my posts, talk to my daughter in the car, driving 5 hours to go down to Miami to work, and then after that, then on the way, an hour early to get down there to give myself that hour in the gym. I usually do 11 different exercises, 44 sets per workout. Yeah, so and I do it in less than an hour.
4 sets?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're keeping a cardio high as well.
Well, I don't do cardio because of that, but I do. I fuck a lot.
44 sets in an hour.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, we're working.
I mean, you're moving.
And I do push-pull, so I'm always going. There's no breaks,
Yeah, exactly. Do you train with anybody?
Yeah, my girl.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How great is that?
Amazing.
Did your girlfriends or your ex-wives, did they ever work out with you?
I would try, man.
Yeah.
Nah, but never like this, man.
Yeah.
Nah, not only is she my lover, she's my best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's important. So many people worry about how people look and what they have and what they do, but the reality is the relationship is really built, on what you guys like, what you can do together.
Right.
You got to have somebody that's going to be in your corner 24/7, and you're going to be in theirs too, of course.
Right.
But you got to enjoy the same things. You know, if you're constantly battling other ways, it's going to pull you. It's going to tug you.
Nah, it's definitely like a date every day.
Yeah.
You know, and we have so much fun because we're both into fitness. So it could be a new gym. We're like, yeah, look at this new piece of equipment, or a piece of equipment we don't get to see at certain gyms. You know, like even here, like we worked out at Johns Creek Crunch. Man, they have some equipment, and I was like, this is awesome. You know, and we're just always trying to raise the bar, try new things. Like right now, I'm trying to get like a Mike Mintz, I think his name is. He used to be an old bodybuilder. He has like a different way of training. So I'm trying to incorporate some of his techniques into it. I'm just always looking for new ways, you know.
Sure, different things.
Yeah, how to train.
Level up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like get on, you know, we talked about that earlier, but one of the things I used to always tell my daughter, will probably laugh when I say this, because she just comes out, I was like, what is the one thing you hate the most? She's like, I hate to run. I want you to run a mile every day. Yeah. First thing you're going to do, run a mile every day. So why are you making me do it? Because if you can do what's hard, everything else is easy.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the hardest thing, the thing that you hate the most. If you do that, the rest of your day is freaking gravy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You feel like you accomplished it, you know? I got it done. Too. And no matter what, if you go to the gym, you go work out, run, whatever it is, exercising to make yourself better, like, dude, that means you won that day. Exactly. No matter what did you do today? Did you do something to make yourself better? You did. So at least you got that to say, hey, you know what? I fucking made progress. I moved forward. I took care of me, because without your health, really, you have nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing
money don't mean shit if you don't have your health.
Hell no. Yeah, you have all the money in the world, and you can't buy time.
That's right.
You know, that's just it in a nutshell. So it's like invest in yourself and do it at an early age.
And what's an hour a day? Like 4% of your day? Like for real? Let's think about it. 5% of your day?
Just look at their screen time.
Yeah.
You know, if you're worried about how long 60 minutes is, look at your screen time. I guarantee you got the time. Yeah. I hear that all the time. Oh, I don't have the time. I'm so busy.
Can I see your phone?
You know, you're gonna be real busy when you're trying to figure out how to stay alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like invest yourself now into you. Yeah. You know, so you can become the best person. And unfortunately, so many people don't do that, and they look for excuses of why they can't. Right. The truth is, they can. Dude, you're living proof of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Being at 300 pounds, you've lost the weight. You've been through so many different adversities in your life. Yeah. You've overcame. Yeah, we could goof around. We say, yeah, you're a porn star and all. But you're a good one. So you did a good job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that was just a part of your story. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Your story certainly ain't ending today. No. You got way more ahead of you. I'm super excited to be along the journey. Get to play a part in your movie with you. It's fun. But I know you got bigger things ahead, man. Really appreciate you coming here and sharing your stuff with us. Anything you want to leave the viewers with? Anything else to give them a little bit of advice of what to say?
Don't stop dreaming, man. You can accomplish anything you put your mind to if you're willing to put in the work. You just got to want it, and I mean really want it.
And there you have it, folks. You got to want it. You can't teach want. If you don't want it, you're never going to get it. And as your boy Wham Bam always says, if your life was a movie, would it be worth watching? And if the answer is no, then stop being ordinary and start being extraordinary. Till next Wednesday, baby, stay positive and keep testing negative. I'm your boy Wham Bam, and I'm out.